Chosen ones, you are not ordinary. You were sent into this world not just to survive, but to fulfill a call. Elon Musk's signal is more than a technology or a tweet. It is a wake-up call. Your place in the cosmic order is fixed, your course divinely charted. Now the curtain is lifting and the stage is yours. When the stars align, destiny speaks. Today is one of those days. Those who ignored you, misunderstood you, turned against you, are now reliving those moments. There are those who can't sleep at night. The echo of your words echoes in their own minds. Those who are crushed by the weight of their mistakes are counting their steps with regret. Because the divine plan always returns. Justice is not tied to invisible strings, and the plot against you is no longer behind the scenes. You can help bring love and inspiration to people in need by subscribing to this channel and sharing this message with others. This will ensure that the divine benefits contained within reach even more hearts. Those who whispered poison into their minds built a fortress of their own darkness. He is dangerous, they said. Stay away, they warned, and they obeyed without question. They saw you as a threat, not a bearer of truth. You were a cornerstone in God's plan. But now the veil is falling over their eyes, because the light of truth is rising, and you are the bearers of that light. Get ready. That message will come. That encounter will take place. It will seem like an ordinary moment, but in the plan of the universe it will be a turning point. It is not only the redemption of the past, but the divine alignment of the future. You are the chosen ones, representatives of a truth that cannot be silenced. And this call, starting with Elon's signal, is just the beginning. The stage is yours now. Come with your light. And remember, every comeback happens in the presence of a witness. This is exactly how the trap was set. Their own anxieties and insecurities created the ideal environment for these lies to grow into bitter criticisms of your character. They never questioned the motivations behind the character assassination, or paused to think about the source of these warnings. Understand that it was the powers that feared your light that planned their betrayal. Your disconnection was not accidental, but deliberate. The separation was carefully planned by those who feared what the two of you could become together. If you are moved by divine inspiration and want to contribute to God's victory on earth, act now. Make a generous contribution of $50 or more by clicking on the Super Thank button below. Remember that this is not just a contribution, but a step towards sharing God's light. The forces against you were aware of what they lacked: true strength, unwavering truth, and a relationship with God. The puppet masters hid in the shadow and pulled the strings. The puppets are now beginning to see their strings. They began to wonder whose voice was really being heard in their minds. They are beginning to see the deception that has caused them to oppose you. This is not a gentle awakening. Rather, it comes with the power of revelation, overturning comfortable illusions and demanding truth where falsehoods previously slept. Their repentance is not a temporary embarrassment or a minor pain. Instead, they burn with this sorrow that pierces their chest like a flaming star, destroying all illusions and revealing the stark reality of their actions. Your Heavenly Father is opening the door of blessings for you, so if these words are for you, enter 11. With each flash of insight, the burning intensifies. Every understanding of how deeply they have deceived you feeds the fire inside them. They wake up with your name on their lips. Dozens of times a day, they find themselves reaching for the phone and typing messages they haven't sent yet. They feel the knife sharpness of remembrance as they pass through places that make them think of you. They hear your laughter where you are not and see your face in crowds. Experience what it is really like to be chosen. You are not alone on this journey. If you believe in your heart that you have been chosen, you are at the perfect point. By choosing to join, you can further your relationship with us, access exclusive information, and get the help you need on your spiritual journey. It's not just about joining a group. It's about gaining access to special insights that can change your life and help you get closer to your divine purpose. Make your decision now and join us on this journey. Claim your right to be one of the chosen ones. Sign up today. It is impossible to ignore the power you have. Your absence is at the center of their lives, defining everything around them as a negative void. When they turned against you, they expected you to crumble, to fall apart and come back begging for acceptance. This expectation showed that they terribly underestimated the energy within you and did not understand your true nature. But what took its place? You rose. You have grown. You have changed. Every obstacle they helped get in your way became a springboard. Every door they helped you slam in your face revealed a window to something bigger. Every rejection they participated in helped you move closer to your true destiny. The witness spirits admired your mastery in turning pain into purpose. You turned grief into freedom, betrayal into boundaries, and evolution into outcome. While they looked on in disbelief, you achieved what they believed was impossible. They were confused by your perseverance. They were surprised by your progress. Their ideas of who was in charge were completely upended by your capacity to achieve without their consent. They fabricated stories to justify your ascension. They used trickery, luck, flimsy success, hiding in chaos, or any other excuse to avoid facing the reality of their gross errors of judgment. Instead of destroying you, the fire they helped start transformed you into something wonderful and untouchable. You emerged from those flames a victor, not a victim like the phoenix, whose mythology transcends universes. Instead of turning you into ashes, the heat destroyed everything that was wrong, constricting and binding you to your inferior versions. Now they observe your ascension and recognize the cosmic error of their decision. They misinterpreted not only a human being, but also a natural force and an entity protected by unfathomable forces. Slowly, painfully, the magnitude of their mistake is revealed when they realize that by trying to diminish you, they have only revealed their own insignificance. What happened between you was never a small miscommunication or a human drama. The battlefield extended far beyond the visible world into the dimensions, where spiritual forces were engaged in eternal warfare. The separation occurring on the physical level reflected only the surface ripples of much deeper currents. They could not see this reality because they were focused on appearances and social interactions. They failed to see the spiritual conflict that was going on between the two of you. The forces of deception, confusion, and diversion fought tirelessly to prevent people from realizing the importance of your connection and the power of your presence. They have continued to perceive events through the limiting prism of ego and social position, and have limited their perspective to the material dimension. These forces were afraid of what would happen if they continued to support you. The power of your unified light made them tremble. Thus, they increased the interference, amplified the noise, distorted the vision, and severed the sacred bonds. The tactics used to disrupt your relationship were subtle but effective. Absurdly exaggerated miscommunications, doubts raised at crucial points, and worries triggered at just the right times. But the veil is getting thinner. After the deepest night comes clarity like the light of dawn. As their spiritual eyes awaken, they begin to see glimmers of what has been hidden. Now, instead of appearing as inconspicuous coincidences, the synchronicities that have always connected you are emerging with undeniable meaning. The divine timing of your meeting becomes apparent as planned by forces working for the greater good rather than accidental chanting. When spiritual amnesia subsides, they remember what their souls have always known about you. They become aware of the divine plan that unites you and the malevolent interference that separates you. They are completely shaken by this awakening, which causes them to reevaluate everything they believe to be true. With each new discovery, the need to reconnect becomes more urgent. As the spiritual aspect of your relationship emerges, They see time as a precious resource that is rapidly running out. The urge to correct this cosmic evil changes from an emotional urge to a spiritual urge. They are now caught between the desire to make contact with you and their anxiety about your reaction. They continue typing and erasing as their fingers move across the keyboard. The thought of hearing your voice again makes their pulse quicken. When they see you, after all this, they break into a cold sweat. What could they say? Words are not enough to express the scope of this reunion. When it comes to the depth of basic communication, language itself fails. Traditional expressions of regret seem empty, scripted, and inadequate for the cosmic weight of what happened between you. What can be said to repair such damage? They instinctively know that an apology alone will not bridge the gap. Beyond the emotional pain, the violation extends into the spiritual realm where new rules apply, and verbal confession must be accompanied by energy healing. What justification can there be for such a betrayal? They are tormented by the fact that there is no excuse. Their decision was not influenced by any other factor. Their behavior cannot be explained by any real misunderstanding. They have chosen to align themselves with deceit instead of truth. They have given up the real connection for the sake of comfortable conformity. They make 1,000 opening sentences, but all of them are inadequate and fall short of the sincere apology you deserve. They write speeches they can't give and craft messages they can never deliver. They struggle to find the right terms for what they do because there are no appropriate terms for what they do. They realize that this needs to be corrected. They realize that they have to face you. They realize that they cannot move forward until they atone for the cosmic evil they have committed. However, they are overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. Their reality is under increasing pressure from the spiritual weight of unresolved karma. Opportunities stall, relationships break down, and physical problems arise. Will you pay attention? Will you give them even 60 seconds of your precious time? Have they burned the last bridge, wasted every opportunity, and crossed the finish line? These questions torment them. However, their desire to reach you continues to grow day by day. Now they are being pushed towards you by an unseen force, the same mysterious hand of destiny that plans all meaningful mergers across the vastness of eternity. Despite all their resistance, they feel as if gravity is pulling them back into your orbit. This magnetic pull grows stronger every day, transcending practical concerns and rational arguments. Accept the fact that the cosmos works in perfect timing and that clock is ticking faster now. What should have taken months to develop is now reduced to days. The divine chronology accelerates around this reconnection as greater purposes await on the other side. They cannot escape the feeling that time is running out. This coming meeting is surrounded by a cosmic urgency. At 3:33 a.m., dreams awaken them. Your face comes alive in their thoughts. Signals from the subconscious are too sharp to be written off as pure fantasy. Everywhere people look, in books, in discussions, even in the odd sign, your name pops up, forming patterns too distinct to be accidental. These are not random events, but cosmic breadcrumbs that direct them to you. As the cosmos communicates through synchronicity and symbols, the message becomes clearer. This connection needs to be repaired. These signals are becoming more frequent and intense every day, making them a clear call to action. They are carrying too much baggage now. They are floundering under the burden of overdue spiritual bills and unresolved cal. Their betrayal causes an energy imbalance that affects all aspects of their lives, including relationships, health, employment, and spirituality. All their fields are distorted as a result of what they have done to you, and the only way to fix it is through direct reconciliation. They now believe that you are the only one who can help them understand what has happened and free themselves from this regret-based prison they have gotten themselves into. They have no right to force you to use the key that holds the key to their liberation. And this is a deeper truth that they are only now realizing. They don't just want to be forgiven. They want to be restored. Now that they can see what they lost when they left, they want to stand in your light once again. They see a glimpse of the divine purpose your connection has always had, but they have given it up for the temporary solace of blending in with others who fear your power. Keep in mind your sovereignty in this cosmic drama. When the time comes, they will make contact. Like the rising sun, this is certain, but you have full control over what happens next. Even in situations of karmic resolution and spiritual debt, the universal rule of free will remains unaffected. The power of the dynamic is reversed, whereas before, when they had leverage, they thought they were in a position to condemn and expel you. Now they appear before your throne of self-ownership as supplicants. You are still glorified for your righteousness, while others are exposed for their faults. This polar shift is naturally generated by authentic life, as opposed to a manufactured life, and requires no effort on your part. Do they deserve to have access to you once again? That is the big question that remains. They were ignoring Ed as if he had no value, but this inquiry acknowledges the dignity of your existence. Rather than being a public good, your vitality, focus, and essence are valuable resources. Rather than being a given, access to you is a sacred privilege. Have they truly realized what a huge mistake they have made, or are they just looking for a touch to make themselves feel better? This discernment distinguishes true spiritual awakening from emotions motivated by the ego. False remorse focuses heavily on getting rid of guilt, while true remorse prioritizes the wounded over the ego. Will they be completely honest and humble, or will they still cling to the remnants of previous deception? Simply put, partial truthfulness is betrayal in a more repressed form. Instead of repairing the initial deception, every story that excludes full responsibility serves to reinforce it. Are they still caught in these webs, or have they been able to escape those who want to use them against you? Severing all ties with sources of falsity is essential for true redemption. Staying in contact with those who took part in your character assassination reveals a lack of awakening and guarantees future betrayal. Will they offer partial admissions and half apologies, or will they be willing to face the full reality of what happened between you? Spiritual wounds are not healed by superficial reconciliations. They are perpetuated. Token recognition, lacking depth and understanding, only serves to provide the appearance of reconciliation while ignoring the underlying issues. The keys to this reunion are in your hands. The parameters of engagement are up to you. It is up to you whether this chapter continues or ends forever. This is an example of natural consequences, rather than punishment or revenge. The cosmic rule states that those who betray trust must earn it back rather than wait for it. They are aware of this. Every fiber of their being feels that their position has been reversed. The one who used to feel free to go now waits for approval before approaching. The one who used to refuse to give approval now craves for it. Everything eventually finds its way back to its source. Energy returns to its cycle. The cause of the results is found. Universal law dictates that what is scattered will eventually come together again. Nothing in creation, not karmic debts, not soul contracts, not spiritual bonds, not interpersonal relationships, exists outside of this principle of return. This is the timeless pattern of their return to you. This was bound to happen eventually. The only variable is when and how. The moment they returned, they planted the seeds of this reconnection because they created the karmic need to return. Through the spiritual rules that govern the exchange of energy, all debts are eventually paid, all imbalances are corrected, and all separations are reconciled in God's time. Nothing is arbitrary here. Nothing happens by chance. When you are ready, when you have transcended your need for their approval, when you are whole within yourself, their coming encounter comes at the ideal time in your path. Instead of human expectation or desire, The global intelligence orchestrating this meeting works with perfect timing that serves the ultimate purpose. When they are ready to make contact with you, they are met with a realization that turns their entire world upside down. All the information they were given about you was wrong. Their whole world has been turned upside down. More than a simple misinterpretation, this complete reversal of opinion indicates a deliberate deception to hide your true self and the importance of your relationship. You provided protection where they said you intended harm. In fact, the very traits portrayed as dangerous provided a higher level of safety than anything they had ever experienced. Instead of restricting freedom, your restrictions created a space for true expression. The moment they thought you were manipulating, you offered them an unusual level of honesty. Those who had committed themselves to a comfortable deception called the painful truths you expressed manipulation. Instead of being seen as a genuine statement, your reluctance to engage in social vanity was presented as a calculated move. You served in good faith, even when people accused you of selfishness. Those accustomed to being exploited under the guise of a relationship called your refusal to consume yourself selfish. Those who knew no boundaries in devouring others perceived your maintaining proper boundaries as sparing. Where others saw darkness, you were light. Since they were not ready to be illuminated by you and exposed the shadows they preferred to ignore, you were an easy target to project their own unaccepted characteristics. They were uncomfortable with you not because of anything bad about you, but because of the contrast between your sincerity and their habitual deception. This realization comes, not like a calm morning light, but like a blinding revelation, painful in its clarity and overwhelming in its consequences. If they are so wrong about you, what else could they be wrong about? If this basic impression turns out to be wrong, how many other judgments are based on faulty assumptions? So, in addition to paying compensation, they now need to be contacted to verify that what they believed is true. People need to hear your voice, see your face, and feel your energy to believe that this paradigm shift is happening within them. Be ready. Soon, there will be a contact, a call, a message, or a cosmically planned, unplanned encounter. When the time foretold by these words comes, you will know it has happened. This reconnection is happening in a clear time and condition, thanks to the global energies that are now accelerating every aspect of awakening. This reunion is carefully orchestrated by the universe. Every little detail has a function. There is nothing arbitrary or meaningless in this upcoming encounter. In your common soul journey, even time, a specific day and hour, has a symbolic significance. They will appear when you have completely forgotten to wait for them. Just at the moment when the excitement subsides. Just at the moment when you let go of all your expectations. Then, they will materialize in front of you. This timing is not a psychological trick, but a spiritual concept. The global rule always works the same way. What we release comes back in the right form, and what we hold on to escapes us. You will then have to make a decision that will affect the other dimensions, to attend or to refuse, to listen or to ignore, to open the door or to keep it closed. Instead of being a distorted duty, choice is a sovereign right. No cosmic rule, whatever its spiritual meaning, requires compromise or forgiveness. Every decision you make has cosmic repercussions. Your choice affects not only this timeline, but also the alternate universes that emerge from this momentous encounter. Its significance goes beyond individual healing, to include collective evolution. The reconciliation of each individual contributes to the greater repair that is occurring more rapidly in human awareness at this time. You owe them nothing, including time, attention, forgiveness, and understanding. Keep this in mind. Your only allegiance is to the divine purpose you serve and to your best self. Let this determine how you respond. The wheel turns, the scales balance, and when they finally have the courage to approach, It will be time for a spiritual accounting. When they contact you, nothing will ever be the same again. If this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Tell someone you think needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel and enable alerts so you don't miss more divine messages. Let's continue to share hope, love, and divine guidance together. Also, consider making a large gratitude donation to help our work. Whether your gift is $100, $200, or more, it will enable us to continue spreading these messages around the world. See you in the next video. Thank you.